Heyo, Hudson here with Planet 4 Gaming. I'm flying the Yak-9UT. This plane was requested by Arg Bruce. Thank you for that request. This was very fun to fly, and after 2 months I finally got around to making a video on it. So yeah, what's good about this plane? It has a solid roll rate. High altitude performance is very good for a Russian plane at Tier 4. Obviously the armament is good. It's got a very customizable armament. You start out with the 23, then go to 37, then 45. And finally, it's got a pretty good sustained turn time. However, it does not have a great instantaneous turn time, so if you're trying to make snapshots, it's often quite difficult. But if you're in a kind of long dogfight with another fighter, chances are he'll bleed off too much speed and you'll be able to keep up your turn longer than him. Also, dive speed is not very good, which is not unusual for a Tier 4 Russian plane. Your wings will rip at around 760 kilometers per hour, which is not that great. And straight line speed isn't that great either. In addition to this, the engine overheats pretty fast, and engine damage will often kill you if you get hit in the right spot. So, at the 5.7 battle rating, when it comes to Russian fighters, I would pick the LA-9 and Yak-15 over this because they have certain advantages that are very clear. The Yak-15 is obviously very fast in a straight line, and it has a pretty good turn time as well. And the LA-9's got a good dive speed, climb rate, good armament. So, yeah, those planes can be a little tougher to master, though. This plane, the Yak-9UT, is similar to a lot of planes that came before it, so you might be more used to it. I don't know. Going up against planes like the Spitfire, Tempest, Sea Fury, Bearcat, Focke-Wulf 190D, and Me-109, G10s and K4s and the like, can be pretty difficult. So, I don't know, make your own decision. What's your favorite Russian plane at 5.7 battle rating? Mine's probably the Yak-15, but that is not a very popular opinion. So, try this plane out, see how you like it for yourself. I found it very fun just because of the 37mm cannon. I've flown it quite a bit. I don't have it spaded yet. My upgrades look like this right now. And honestly, going through the upgrades, it didn't seem to get all that much better. I just didn't notice it. Maybe it did. So anyway, let's go into a full game now. Okay, here we are in a full game on Cubon against the US and British. I've climbed to a reasonable altitude, around 5,000 meters. That's usually how high I like to go, because it's good to have an altitude advantage in this plane because its dogfighting abilities are not the best. Focke-Wulf 190 came at me there. I just duck out of the way. Spitfire is coming from behind. He kind of catches me off guard, but I do some loops, slight bank, and I'm able to keep his guns off of me. And he wing rips, so that's him gone. Don't have to worry about him anymore. And now I'm turning my attention to that Focke-Wulf again. He's on one of my teammates. I don't want him taking them out. So I'm following him through this turn. As you can see, I'm not turning in too tight right away. That's because this plane can't do that. So, after I do manage to bring it around, I see he's going into the vertical. Follow him. Now he's going into a dive, follow him through that. Basically, I'm not going to get any deflection shots off that are going to be able to hit. I'm going to have to get on his tail and chase him down, which is what I'm doing here. And my teammates are going to make that very difficult. They want the kill too, but I want it more, so I'm just going to shove them out of the way. Follow him through his dive. Unleash the 37s on him, and there he goes. So that's that. One plane down, and there's not really much around. Some Sea Furies and I think a Spitfire up at high altitude, and I'm gonna have to climb and see if I can get into a firing position on some of them. This is the first game where I went up against a Sea Fury, by the way. I just kind of assumed it flew like the Tempest, and for all intents and purposes, it pretty much does. I haven't flown it myself, but when I go up against it, I feel like I'm flying against a Tempest. So just look at it that way, if you ask me. It might be a little bit better, it might be a bit worse, I have no idea. But it is a tough plane. It's very fast and got a solid turn time as well, I think. So that Tempest and his friend over, Sea Fury and his friend over there are B&Zing my LA-9 buddy at will. They're not even taking any damage or anything. Basically, they're not at risk at all, so I'm going to have to come and help him out, otherwise he's going to be going down, and they're just going to start chipping away at my team with this kind of flying. So I can see that guy's dropped his altitude quite a bit, and while he's climbing up, I'm trying to gain on him, but he's just very fast. Even in a climb, he's able to kind of keep his distance. So now I'm going to turn back around, make sure to dodge his buddy that's coming at me. Yeah, just like that. And he's trying to get on my tail. That was pretty bold, but it didn't work. He overshot, and now he's diving away. I use a few 20mm rounds just to see if I can get some hits. I can't. He's pulling away. The rudder on this plane also makes it very hard to aim, especially at long ranges and high speeds. And the ballistics properties of the 20mm cannons are not the best in the game either. Guns like the MG151 Hispano and even the whatever the 20mm used by the Corsair and the Bearcat, those are all better than the Schwach. So yeah, you got to get in close if you want to get kills in this plane. So I'm trying to chase down that first Sea Fury over there, but his friend is gaining on me, so I gotta evade. And now the first one is up at high altitude diving in, second one is climbing away. I gotta give them credit, they really organize their attacks well. I'm not sure if they're in a squad or not, but they really know what they're doing. They're not giving us a chance to return fire or anything, which is how they should be flying, so credit where it's due. These two are pretty good Sea Fury pilots. And my LA-9 goes down, so I'm just gonna say fuck it, go head to head with this guy, unleash a full-on barrage of, well, a quick burst, and take his wings off. He sets me on fire, so we take each other out. And that's not too bad for me. I got 2 kills, and there's just 1 Sea Fury left. That's the only guy on their team. So when I go down, the 2 or 3 remaining planes on my team are going to be able to finish him off, which is what they do here. I didn't get a shot of it. I was focusing on the wrong guy, but they take him out, we win, and that's the end of the story. So, as you could see, the Yak-9 was kind of suffering in the turn fighting and climbing abilities of the Focke-Wulf and the Sea Fury. I kind of think of it as more of a support plane than a game winner like the LA-9 would be. Just look for opportunities and try to capitalize on them, and you should do fine. Okay, next full game is alternate history on Berlin. 2 B-17s managed to cross my path, which was a bad move on their part. 37mm cannon makes short work of the lead plane. Not going to turn around and take on the second one because there's a Sea Fury here. I'm not sure if he's AFK or what, but he doesn't seem to be paying much attention. Oh no, he was flying it, he just didn't know what he was doing. So yeah, that's 2 kills right in a row within 15 seconds. Not a bad way to start a match, and I'm trying to keep my distance from that P-51. He's at higher altitude, I don't want him jumping my ass right at the start like this. So I'm just going to try and look for any friendlies that are in trouble and see what I can do. And it looks like there's an F4U over there. Not a bad target. So I'm diving in. Very slowly. Okay, P-51 and a Corsair on my friendly fighter down there. Gonna dive in, go for the P-51 since he's within firing range of my guy. The Corsair is so far behind and I'm going so fast that he's not gonna get a chance to shoot at me. Waste a lot of ammo there, but there goes the P-51. You can see a lot of sparks, by the way. That's a common issue with the 37 now. One of the riskier things about going into head-to-heads with this plane is, first, the 37 is low rate of fire and not particularly accurate, so you may not get any hits at all. And when you do get a hit, there's a pretty good chance it'll spark, so it may not be a guaranteed one-hit kill, and that can be the difference between life or death when going into a head-to-head. Waste 3 shots on that Mosquito, none of them hit. I was not at the best firing angle and got a little bit too trigger-happy there. But now the Corsair has fallen right in front of me. Only 1 shot left, but luckily that's all I need. Line up, and there he goes. So that's the end of my 37mm. Got a few 150-ish 20mm cannons left. That could be enough to get a kill. I've done it before, so I'm gonna turn back around, go after that Mosquito. We've got 2 guys on him, so should be fine, but might as well go for it. And there, my squad mate takes him out, which is fine by me. Time to return to base now. There's 1 or 2 planes left. One is a B-17, I know for sure. And I'm really going to need 37 if I want to take him out. It's doable with the 20, but not preferable. So, long flight back to base. And just a second here, I'll see him. Yeah, there he is, B-17, low altitude. Even though I'm not really armed well to take him out, I'm gonna give it a shot, because trying to land right now would be pretty dumb, as he could just bomb me on the runway. So, line him up. He's within 1 kilometer, take my shots, but I've got Stevie Wonder aim and not able to do some serious damage. Although I did damage the oil tank on 1 engine, so that's got to be worth something. I've got some 50 shots left, so I'm gonna put as many of those in him as I can and then just go for the landing. He's the last guy, so my team should be able to take him out, but I'm gonna land anyway, just to be on the safe side. You can see the B-17 taking quite a lot of damage from that LA-9, which is a pretty fairly well-armed fighter for taking out other fighters, but not necessarily bombers. 4 23mm cannons are not the most accurate or reliable cannons in the game, and against bombers they just don't do all that much damage. So that's where the Yak-9UT finds its role. It's easily the best bomber interceptor in Tier 4 for Russia. Yeah, that's one of the main advantages of this plane. But overall, you got to consider taking out fighters is much more important than taking out bombers in War Thunder realistic battles, just because of the way the game works. Bombers almost never win games, fighters almost always do. So, that's the bomber gone. I don't know who took him out, but he's history now. And that'll be the game. So, yeah, that was a very good game for me. Most kills I've gotten in this plane in one game. I've had 3 kill games before. And it's just very fun to fly. It's not the best plane in the world, but I enjoy it. I like big guns. I like one-hitting people. It's probably the most rewarding part of War Thunder. And that should do it. If you've got any questions, leave them below. I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to when it comes to flying this plane, but if there's anything you need answered, just leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. Until then, this has been Hudson with P4G. Thank you for watching, and get the fuck out of here.